It's that time of the quarter. It is the most controversial time of the year, and it is tier list time. We got the new ban list, and it is effective for Worlds. This is pretty much a what is going to happen at Worlds, and I think a lot of people looking at the Japanese results kind of know what's going to happen anyways, but let's go through it. There's a lot of decks in this tier list. I'm going to probably skip over most of them because they're not as meta relevant as some of the other ones, but some, you know, might show some interest. And obviously looking at last year's results, Shoujo Doji won it without the newer support. So let's go through it anyways. There's a lot to go through, just gonna breeze through, right? So let's see. Buff Sagra, this is the old one. I'm gonna put it down here. Mahar, Overlord. Overlord doesn't have its new PR in English yet, so it goes there. Jiva, I think there's like a few Jivas running around. So I think it's a benchmark deck. So I guess for those who are new to this video, S is pretty much the best deck in the format, or the best decks in the format. And then B is for like the benchmark, what I would bring to regionals. And then C and D are like pretty much casual local games. I'd be pretty happy to play those. Yeah. Anyways, Snake goes down here. Tamayura a little bit up here. Is it the Festival Collection guy? There. So Shiranui, I think Shiranui is a pretty good pick. I think maybe not in like a Buff Sagra meta. I think Shiranui is probably a better pick in set 8 when the format kind of diversifies, hopefully. And with the ban list in Japan, I think Shiranui will make a comeback, and I think it's seen a lot of play in English, right? The Dino guy, the start deck guy, whatever this guy is. Virgila goes down here as well. Koti Blaze, yeah, I'll put it up a bit more. Shoujo Doji, I think it is a B tier deck. It got Izaswa back to 2, but otherwise it's just alright. I think a lot of other decks are faster than Shoujo Doji, but then again, you know, Rezel, Levadress will pretty much manhandle Shoujo Doji, and then there's like Buff Saga and some of the newer decks as well. This is Scale, so Alcalibra. I think Alcalibra is okay. I think if you roll with Alcalibra going first every single game and you play faster than a lot of the other decks, then you might be able to keep up. Eugene, sorry buddy. Varga, I think Varga kind of goes here maybe. Very low A tier, brinking B tier. I think the deck, there's just a lot of other decks that I feel are better, more consistent, and showing better results. But I think Varga, if you're having a really happy day, then you're winning, right? Gandiva Mask, I think Gandiva Mask is here. We've seen a lot of development on the JP side as well. A lot of people are playing that, and I think the deck is actually pretty good. Maybe it goes like brinking A tier, but I wouldn't put it in A tier just yet. We don't have too many results to kind of back it up. Vermilion, unfortunately, goes here. Buff Sagra, best deck in the format, not even close. In the English side, it is unbanned. Verlord is not at 1 for English, and we've seen results. It is ridiculous. So yeah, Buff Sagra, best deck in the format. If you're not bringing this deck for Worlds, then I hope you bring a deck that absolutely high rolls the crap out of Buff Sagra and wins. Elliot Gleamer, right? Spoilers. So Vortex, this is the new Vortex Dragon. So I have no idea what's going on with Vortex Dragon. I don't think it's that great until maybe later on. Viamance, Grateful Bruce, this guy, Jet is okay. We don't really need to talk about Jet. I think Jet with the EB engine is a draw fest. Vietnamese Bruce kind of goes down here. Is there like other Unica? Yeah, there's other Unica. So old Unica goes down here. Chaos is here. I probably wouldn't bring it to a regional, but you know, other people might say otherwise. Greedon goes down here, I think, as well. Omina Gruzio, maybe got like a bit more support, so I guess I'll put it here. Jujud, I think Jujud is a pretty formidable pick, especially in set 9, and this tier list obviously includes set 9 as well, so maybe we have to rejig this around so that we kind of show what the English side is and then what the JP side is. But I think Jujud, in a meta where it's Rezel, Levadress, and Odium, I think Jujud was a pretty sleeper pick, but I don't think anybody had the guts to be able to, you know, bring it along. The Time Dragon, also largest. Direful Dolls goes here. Blangmire, I think, is a formidable deck. I think sometimes you just win. Maybe it goes up here. Yeah. Sometimes you just unfairly win the game, and there's nothing your opponent can do about it. But I think Rezel is just better, right? Lukia doesn't have Filia yet. Filia is out, so yeah, might see better gameplay. Sacrifice Glass, Barret Magnus, Harry, poor guy, he's like down here for a while. Odium, I think Odium is okay in the English side. I actually think it's like B. I think Odium is a very telegraph deck, very straightforward. People kind of know how to like guard against it. Favanil goes here, Unicar goes here. This is the new promo boss. We haven't really seen much of it, so it goes down. Blangmire Nexus. I think this deck... Okay, so I guess since we're talking about the JP side, all of the JP stuff is denoted by the new boss unit. So Blangmire Nexus, I think, is one of the best decks in the format for set 8. Given that there is the JP restrictions, right, with Veilord. So this tier list will pretty much be JP plus English given their own choice restriction and restriction list, right? Obviously some more so than others, Rezael for example, but I think Rezael has seen a lot of development even after the Sergaun ban, and then Leverdress doesn't really get affected too much. Yeah, Blangmire Nexus, I think it got an insane grade 1. The new grade 3 allows you to call from Bind Zone, which effectively gives you like Bedrock Dragon. I think the deck is just really good. Much more versatile than the old Blangmire. You can tutor stuff, and that's kind of what the deck needed. I think the deck was very fragile previously, but now is not the case. MLB goes here, PBO goes down here, Minerva, got what, Cocoa maybe goes there, Hex Orb, not that great, Tegria as well, Ezul, Platina's coming out, so yeah, it goes down here, and maybe we'll reassess it later on. Bastion, maybe here, Alden here, Youthberg here, Luard. I think Luard is pretty good in the English format, obviously, so yeah, maybe I'll just put it there. It's not as good as Shiranui. I think Shiranui is way better, but yeah, we move on from that. Luhan goes here, whatever this dragon is goes down here. The start deck guy, Leo or Mortar, unfortunately goes like down. Oh, it has Caterpillar and Sergaun. Give it a bit more respect. Undercover goes down here. Oh wait, that's it. No, that's Old Olden. Old Olden goes down there. Newer Olden goes here. Rezael, in English, is one of the best decks at the moment until Babsago comes out. And Babsago comes out, then we pack it up and don't play Rezael, right? Babsagra just overtakes pretty much a lot of these decks in A, if not all of them, and pretty much everything under it. Babsagra, best deck in the format. Soliron Mask. Soliron Mask didn't really do anything. Same with Graham Grace. This is the new Doggo Girl. Don't really see much results out of that. So maybe we'll put it... Yeah, we'll put it here. Same with the Battle Sister promo. We haven't really seen anything. Youthberg. I think it's just an okay deck. A lot of people have been testing Youthberg, and it feels like a glass cannon, as it always has been. But I feel like Youthberg didn't really get as much love and support as some of the other ones, like, you know, Magnolia Patriarch and those guys. So Prison, I think Prison's alright, pretty good. Heroes. A bit skeptical putting it here. Yeah, I think it's just C. Elegleema, one of the best decks in the format. If you roll and absolutely thrash your opponent, there's nothing you can do about it. Pack it up and move on, right? Move on to the next round. I think if the meta is Elegleema and Babsagra, it's gonna be super whack. One side of the room is gonna be playing a high roll deck. Another person's playing like the best deck in the format that is like Omega consistent. So I actually have no idea like how this matchup goes. So yeah, if you guys know, let me know down in the comments. Messiah's pretty good. I think we'll put Messiah here. Got a lot of tools in the previous format. The previous set, sorry. Vanguard. I think it's alright. This is the old Vanguard. It goes into the new one and it got like more support, right? Eva. I think Eva is like here somewhere. Jovan brought it to WGP Deluxe Nationals and came third. I think it's a really good pick into Buff Sagra. It's a very tanky deck. So you're pretty much playing Buff Sagra or Eva or everything or anything else. Or Elaglima, right? So like these three are like the picks I would pick for Worlds if I went for Standard Worlds. I think those three decks are like pretty formidable. I don't actually know how Eva goes into Elaglima. I don't know. That one's a bit weird. If Elaglima goes first, it just absolutely high rolls and Eva can't really do anything about it. Eva builds up the tempo of the game slowly. So like the longer the game goes, the better the deck becomes. So I'm not too sure on that matchup, but I think Eva is a really good pick into Buff Saga, especially if it's trying to retire the front row. Silhouette Man goes down here. Orphis, unlucky. Got Gravidia as well. The guy from the start deck, Wellstra. Wellstra actually didn't really get much support recently, and if it did, it wasn't that great. Rotovisor as well. Dayusha, yeah. I guess it gets Darkhizer later, but we'll talk about that later on. Archite down here. Impoldio, sometimes you just flip OT and you win. So there, Vaisrug, there, Flagberg, my guys down here. Magnolia Elder, it's just okay. Grandfear's down here. Claudine. Mythiarch is so down here in comparison to how it is in Premium, which is pretty wild to me. Magnolia Mask down here. Leonorn. I think Leonorn's alright. I think Leonorn goes somewhere there. Christianos here. Valeno maybe here. Zorgonadia here. Stoyraja here as well. Night Rose. Night Rose goes probably here. So like if we're talking about a non-buff Saga meta, I think like these decks are pretty good. So yeah, like those five are like pretty big powerhouses. Leverdress as well. So we'll put Leverdress on the same tier as them. And then we have what? Roroa. Roroa doesn't really do anything. Maelstrom. I think Maelstrom's pretty good. Maybe like up here. And then the new Sailor Girl. There's not really much support, so I guess it goes down here. Estation. So a lot of people have been saying Estation's a really strong deck. So I don't have, I guess, my valid opinions to be able to put that in S tier. But a lot of people like Miltai and some of the other people, Bear as well, have rated this pretty high. So maybe it goes like here, Bring King S. But I think the promo is really good. Makes the deck really strong. So I'm unsure. Magnolia Patriarch. I think Magnolia Patriarch is a very solid deck. I think the deck with the correct build and the correct concept of the deck will make the deck really strong. I feel like if you're just throwing a bunch of like Geonostlers and some of the other stuff into the deck, it won't be good. But if you're playing an engine that allows you to revive stuff, allows you to gain pluses and just drag the game a bit longer, similar to what Eva does, I think the deck becomes really, really strong. Then Kyrie Grade 4. This doesn't have the new Kyrie, I don't think. It does. Okay, so Kyrie Grade 4 goes here, I guess. Some of the other stuff just kind of goes down here. Clarissa, Celestial, Lorona Roll, Willista, I guess, gives a bit more support. I guess it's pretty big 5-attack deck for its time. The Bunny Girl, Herminia, Fortia, Shamu. Shamu can go here. I think Shamu's alright. Sienna goes down here. Pacifica, Labrador, Chris Rain. Chris Rain goes here. I think Chris Rain jumps heaps if it gets the high 5 order. Actually, well, does it? Maybe a Lyrical Cup it does, but not for normal play, I don't think. I think other decks are just better. Flam Glam, the Vanilla Girl goes here, Medial goes here, Kyoka goes here, Michu is alright. I think Michu can go here. We've seen a lot of Michu results. Oh wait, that wasn't Kyoka before. This is the big giant girl, Lilfa. Lutetia is alright. I think we'll give Lutetia some love there. Absolute Zero has absolutely 0 tops. Same with Coral. Prism. Licia Fell goes here. Alright, Artasaria. I think Artasaria is a pretty strong deck in this format. Maybe not against the likes of like Patriarch and maybe Leverdress, but Artasaria being able to just lock out a column is really strong. It like versing something like Blankmire or like Buffsagra where they have a rearguard that doesn't disappear in the front row, locking that down pretty much slows down the gameplay. I think Artasaria is fairly strong. Grade 3 new Kyrie. I have no idea what this deck is going to do, so I'll give it some hope and just kind of leave it there. And then I guess we won't talk too much about the collabs. I think like the only ones that matter is like Mygo, right? Mygo and Ave Mujiga. So I think Mygo's pretty strong. Maybe Mygo goes up like here, right? And then what other stuff? Monster Strike goes like here. What other ones are useful? Morphonica was good until they axed the big Kabajillion multi-attacks. Avimuchika is alright. I think it's here, maybe. I think the deck has a lot of, really nice gimmicky stuff. So I guess it goes there. What other stuff is there? Like Grifo Gila. A lot of these collabs don't matter too much. Oh, Love and Berry. So Berry, I think Berry's a strong deck, and I also think Love is a strong deck, but I think Love can go here, Berry can go there. I think it is very meta dependent depending which one is good. So those two go there. I don't think there's anything else on this bit that matters, I don't think. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, I guess we'll just recap a little bit. This is kind of like the landscape for English, if there are no restriction lists. So, Buffsagra I think is good. Maybe a Station goes here, right, for the JP format. So if we're talking the English format, right, best decks in the format would have to be Buffsagra and Elaglima, followed by Eva, Shunui, Vaga, Rezel, Night Rose, Leverdress. And then like the next tier down would be like Maelstrom, Odium, Blankmire, Gandiva Mask, right? I think that would be the English side. Now, if we're talking about the JP side, Buffsagra actually goes down. Elaglima is still up there. So I think Elaglima being a really high roll deck, in comparison to like something like a Station, Blankmire, maybe Magnolia Patriarch goes. No, I think that's giving it too much respect. Yeah, I think this is how I would probably put it. Maybe like Elaglima, a Station, Blankmire Nexus. Maybe Blankmire Nexus is too high. Maybe it goes down here. So maybe it's something like this, and maybe Berry goes up there. I don't know. I don't think I've tested the format enough, and it's a pretty new format, so maybe like after a few WGPs we'll know what's going on. But this is like, I guess, a preemptive tier list to see what set 8 kind of gives us, right? So yeah, anyways, for the English side, for where it actually matters, I think this is pretty much your landscape for Worlds. So Buffsagra, Elaglima, and then the next tier down is Eva, Shunui, Vaga, Rezel, Night Rose, Leverdress. And then the next tier down is like Maelstrom, Odium, Blankmire, Grandiva, Mask. Now, obviously, these decks you can still bring, but obviously you have to beat these guys, and you have to somehow high roll Buff Saga, because Buff Saga has 4 Veilords, and the deck is just really insane. So, yeah, that's pretty much the tier list. Obviously, you know, Worlds is coming up very, very soon, so this is probably what you'll anticipate to see. Buff Saga is probably the best deck in the format. Pretty much the whole room will probably be playing it, so, you know, gear up for Buff Saga mirrors, and if you know how to play the mirror somehow, if there's like a magical tech, you know, keep it for yourself, and hopefully you guys win Worlds. So yeah, that's pretty much the video. If you guys like this video, pop a like, comment down below what you guys think of the format at the moment. It's a bit, I wouldn't say it's stale, but it's very definitive as to what the best decks are. I'm really looking forward to the set 8 meta, and I will be playing at the Vanguard side, so you know, being able to play set 8 with the new restriction list is very cool as well. If you guys haven't already, click that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.